Welcome back tuning into today's video. We're going to do a bit of a longer range look ahead today. Have a look at the month ahead with the Japanese model. It's JMA Friday as always, so have a look at that going out into September up to the 11th of September. Also have a look at some charts from the Beijing Climate Centre again towards the end of the video. I showed you the chart, the latest chart yesterday for the winter. I thought we'll just go back and have a look at a few other years from the Beijing Climate Centre to see what it was showing before the winter. So around this time of year, around August, we're going to have a look at 2008, 2009 and 2012 to see whether at this point it had started to pick up on the cold winters that were ahead. Now, before I get on with all of that, just want to mention the ad. It says video ad, type pages at gasoffice.com. If you want to hit play on the video ad, you'll be helping to support gasoffice.com. Thanks so much for doing that. Essentially, it allows me to sit and talk to you via the website because it pays the website. So thanks for getting involved and supporting gasoffice.com. So before we do anything else, we'll do the Japanese month ahead forecast, JMA Friday. These are 500 meter height anomaly charts from the Japanese model. The first thing you need to know, and it's broken down into week periods, first thing you need to know that the British Isles is upside down on these charts. Blue, of course, is below average heights, which extrapolates to low pressure. Orange and red is above average heights, which extrapolates to high pressure. So what we're seeing for the coming week, which takes us from the 14th to the 21st of August, is a large area of below average heights sitting around and to the east of the British Isles. That's quite unsettling, quite a cool scenario. We've got quite a bit of blocking up to the north, quite a bit of north blocking around Greenland. So the general flow is going to be northerly, and with below pressure to the east, there will be showers coming through at times. I think that's a pretty good representation of the cool week that we've got here. I did a video yesterday saying that the cool air is digging in. I think it will be digging in over the next week. Temperatures will be coming out below average for the coming week. As we go through to the next weekly period, which will be taking us from the 21st to the 28th of August, well, we're weakening the trough. The trough is weakening to the east, so things are probably improving a little bit. Still got quite a lot of blocking sitting to the south of Greenland. I think overall it's an improving pitch. It'll be turning a little bit less chilly probably through that weekend, probably fewer in the way of showers as well. The jet stream is probably returning a little bit more northwards as opposed to being well to the south of the country, I think, through the final week of August. So a little bit of an improvement through the course of that week, although just with the caveat, this area of low pressure in the Atlantic could possibly get involved with the jet stream and start to bring sort of areas of low pressure in off the Atlantic underneath this blocking area of high pressure. So it could turn more unsettled through that week, but overall I think that is slightly better. It's slightly more of an improvement through the last week of August. Excuse me. And then we go through to the 28th to the 11th of September, and what we're looking at through the first couple of weeks of September is that we start to ridge down this area of high pressure from the north. So things are perhaps settling down, or area of above average heights anyway. So things are probably settling down through the course of that week. Now, the high pressure or the above average heights ridging down from the north means that it's probably not going to be that warm. I wouldn't be expecting it to be particularly hot. In fact, it could be quite chilly, particularly at night, where there could be some early sort of ground frost, perhaps even in the north of the country. But by day, it wouldn't be too bad. It will feel okay in the sunshine, and generally it's a drier scenario as we're going through into the start of September on that sort of chart, I think. Although again, with the caveat that it isn't particularly warm by any means. Now, have a look at the city temperature forecast from the CFS model for the next 6 weeks. This is from the website weatherweb.net. You can find a link to weatherweb.net on my links page. This is for Birmingham, this graph, and the peaks here are the maximum temperatures, the blue colours are the minimum temperatures. So just follow the line through, and this is 20 degrees up here, which in August is really quite disappointing in terms of the maximum temperature. In September, well, it's not too bad, particularly the second half of September. 20 Celsius wouldn't be too bad, but I think around 18 Celsius is sort of the overall maximum temperature for Birmingham in September. Anyway, let's follow the graph through, and we can see that we're going to be pretty chilly really over the next few days. The dates are along here. 26th of August, around Bank Holiday weekend, is just there, and it is seeing a little bit of a tick up in the temperatures around the Bank Holiday weekend. Nothing particularly exciting, but temperatures do lift up a little bit through that final sort of week, the final week of August. Now, as we go through to September, and this is September the 1st just here, we keep temperatures probably around where we should be actually. That's probably around average through the start of September. Nothing particularly exciting, maybe dipping down a little bit again through the first week of the month, before we tick back up again as we go through into the second week. Then we do get a bit of a warmer spell actually as we go through towards the middle of September. This is the 16th of September just here, and maybe that's the warmest sort of phase of the month, through the middle part of the month. Temperatures ticking back down again, and then as we get through towards the end of the month, we really do start to crash the temperatures down then. So autumn properly sets in as we get through to the final week to 10 days of September. This is the 26th just here, and by then we're struggling to see temperatures getting through to around 10 Celsius, so that's very disappointing in terms of the maximum temperature by the time you get through to the end of September. But the overall idea from that, I think, is that temperatures aren't going to be particularly exciting throughout. There's no sign there of anything particularly hot coming up. Will be a few warmer days mixed in, but overall sort of near normalish sort of temperatures until we get through towards the latter part of September, when it could get really very, very cool. These are the corresponding 500 millibar height anomaly charts for the next couple of months from the CFS model. Again, this is weatherweb.net. For September, the anomaly is sticking an area below average heights to the north and the northeast of the country. Got a bit of a ridge down over the Azores. The jet stream, quite a strong jet stream actually, is coming through like that. So that's quite an unsettled month that it's seeing there for September. Below average heights up to the north. Quite a strong westerly jet stream coming through. We'll be bringing bouts of rain, particularly to the north and west. Maybe some drier spells down in the south and the southeast. But overall, quite an unsettled September being signalled there. And interestingly, for October, it's also seeing quite a extensive area of below average heights here around the country. So an unsettled month being signalled again. Notice it's got above average heights up over Greenland as well, so that could be potentially quite a cool month actually. The jet stream is going more to the south around that trough, and we could be feeding in cool air from the north as well, so that could be quite a cool unsettled October pattern emerging there on the CFS model. These do change day by day, I should just say that, so if you come and have a look at the charts at WeatherWeb tomorrow, they're likely to look different, and what you have to do is average the charts out over the course of a week or 2 week period to see where the model is going as a general trend, because they will change day by day. But that's certainly the latest update, quite interesting, but it's seen unsettled and really quite cool September and October pattern emerging. The temperature anomaly for the coming 4 weeks, this is from the CFS model, broken down into weekly periods. So we've got the 14th to the 20th of August first. We're all seeing that we're going to be cooler than average through the coming week. The week that we're in is going to be a cool week. We're in those green colours. Temperatures will be coming out below average. The next period, taking us from the 21st to the 27th of August, which is just here, shows that we're going to be lifting the temperatures up a little bit. The anomaly is still around average to a little bit below, but it's not as substantially below average as it is during this first weekly period. So I think we will see those temperature anomalies coming up. Nevertheless, still quite a coolish week really coming up. The third weekly period, this is from the actual CFS site itself, by the way. This isn't WeatherWeb, this is the NOAA.gov site from the United States. The third week period temperature anomaly going from the 28th to the 3rd of September shows that ridge again in those green colours. And then as we go through to the fourth weekly temperature anomaly, the 4th to the 10th of September, again nothing particularly exciting. We're not substantially below average, but we are sort of trending on the lower side of average, so we're around normal, just slightly below, but certainly no sign in most charts of anything particularly warm or hot coming up in the next couple of weeks, or the next 4 weeks. Going through to the precipitation anomalies again for the next month, the first weekly period shows up becoming out a little bit drier than average. That's because we're blocking off the Atlantic on air of high pressure in the Atlantic going up to Greenland, bringing down a cool northerly flow. It stops the low pressure coming through off the Atlantic, so a little bit drier through that week period. The 21st to the 27th of August, the second week period, shows that we're going a little bit above average with the rainfall in the green colours then. So rainfall is going above average, although the temperatures are lifting up. Go through to the start of September, the 28th to the 3rd of September, and the 4th to the 10th of September, the 3rd and 4th weeks, shows that rainfall then starts to come out near normal in the white colours. So we're not deviating far from the average through the first week to 10 days of September. It's a cool period though. We saw that on the temperature charts. It's not going to be a very warm start to September, but the rainfall is easing off through the start of September, although there will be some rain coming through because it's not a drier than average signal. It's just sort of average temperature anomalies, rainfall anomalies. So in terms of the next month, I think we're looking at quite a coolish phase really. There will be some warmer days mixed in. No sign on any of those charts of anything really hot getting going for the end of August and the start of September. All long range models and charts are highly experimental though, that's the caveat, as I always throw in, so we'll just have to wait and see how it develops. Now, this is the 500 millibar height anomaly chart for the winter from the Beijing Climate Centre that I showed you yesterday. Just going to talk about this a little bit again. We've got this blocking up here around Greenland, extensive northern blocking, a trough of below average heights as an anomaly sitting around the British Isles and Western Europe as well. We'll be feeding in cool air from that, from a northerly direction, from Arctic sort of origin air, pushing into that trough of low pressure. So it's a cooler or colder than average winter that the Beijing Climate Centre is currently seeing. It's early days, though. It is August, so we can't get too carried away with it, but that's the signal of colder than average winter. Let's see whether the Beijing Climate Centre picked up on the pattern for the last few cold and average winters. So we're starting 2008. This is August 2008 for the winter of 2008-2009. And look at this, it had got the blocking that emerged quite surprisingly in that winter. We hadn't had much storm blocking for a very long time before the winter of 2008-2009, but it did pick up on, or it was picking up on, the chance of blocking developing around Greenland through that winter. We've got a trough of low pressure below average heights here sitting to the south of it. Again, the cold air is being fed in to that trough by the northern blocking. It's feeding the cold air into the trough of low pressure. So August 2008, it was seeing the possibility of a colder than average winter pattern emerging anyway for the winter of 2008-2009. Winter of 2009-2010 shows that we have got Atlantic blocking. Anyway, it's not quite as extensive around Green, but it is picking up on sort of an Atlantic ridge there. There's the trough around the British Isles again, and stretching out in central parts of Europe, and it was with that you are feeding in, of course, cold air again from the Arctic. The idea with blocking is that you set up the warm air, the block, over the Arctic, and nature's always looking for an equilibrium. The weather is always looking for a balance. So where you've got warm air as a wedge of warm air in terms of an area of high pressure, you've got to have a corresponding area of cold air around it or underneath it. And when you get a block, of course, over the Arctic, then you're going to push the cold air or bleed the cold air out of the Arctic into the trough that's setting up, usually to the south or east of the ridge, and that's what we see there. But we've got that blocking in the Atlantic, not quite as extensive for Greenland, but certainly the idea is there. You can see where that's sort of going, but you've got that block in the Atlantic feeding the cold air into the trough over Western Europe. And the final cold winter that we've had just recently, I won't look at 2010 because that's a little bit more complicated. You have the very cold December of 2010, but then you get a much milder January and February. So I think we'll leave that one alone because it's the pattern through the winter did change significantly through the course of that winter. But the last cold an average winter look at is 2012-2013, and it's a very similar idea to what the Beige Climate Centre is seeing for this winter actually. Again, we've got lots of blocking up here around Greenland, got a trough sitting around the British Isles and into western parts of Europe as well, and again within that trough you're feeding in that cold air out of the Arctic. So the three cold winters, cold throughout, that we've had in recent years, 2008, 2009, 2009, 2010, and then 2012, 2013. Those three cold winters, the August that preceded those winters, the model was seeing the chance of northern blocking setting up and a cold trough sitting to the south and the east of that blocking around the British Isles and around western parts of Europe as well. So it's very interesting. It's nothing to be running away because it's too early. We're just going to have to wait and see how the Beige Climate Centre develops this as we go through September, October and November. But it's certainly an interesting point to be starting at as we go into the autumn. We start to think more about winter. It's an interesting point to start off with, but of course we're going to have to wait for many more updates before we can start getting confident about this pattern. I found the video interesting. Coming back to a quick summary for the next month, it's looking pretty cool overall. There will be some warmer days mixed in, but overall quite a cool period being seen, I think, by the CFS and the Japanese model for the next month period. It'll be interesting to see how it develops, but as we get through the start of September it may turn a bit drier. That's it. We're going to look at weekend forecast tomorrow, so come back for that, but that's all for now. Thanks for watching.